Welcome to the Avon Gorge. Dominated by Isambard Kingdom Brunel's famous Clifton Suspension Bridge, the gorge separates Bristol to the east and North Somerset to the west. And despite being only 5 kilometres from the city centre, it is a haven to wildlife of national and international importance. The Avon Gorge is a designated special area of conservation, a site of special scientific interest, and is regarded as one of the top 3 botanical sites in England due to its 30 nationally rare and scarce species of plants. Species including the Bristol rock cress, the Bristol onion, and the Bristol whitebeam call this gorge home. The gorge is also a nesting site for peregrine falcons, the world's fastest animal, one of the area's most interesting residents, and a favourite with local visitors though, is a small herd of cashmere and baggot goats. The goats help to keep trees at bay, resulting in open meadows that are habitat required for some of the endemic species in the gorge. To find out more, we caught up with Mandy Leivers, the education manager for the Avon Gorge and Downs Wildlife Project.
Most of the rare plants of the Avon Gorge belong to a community of plants which is known as limestone or calcareous grassland. We know from historical and archaeological records that the grasslands were here for hundreds if not thousands of years and were kept open by sheep, and the sheep that were grazing here were nibbling away, keeping bramble, ivy and tree seedlings under control. When the Avon Gorge and Downs Wildlife Project was started in 1999, we came to the Avon Gorge to find that there are only tiny pockets of this rare grassland left. The grazing had been to decline in the mid-1800s and stopped altogether in the 1920s. Without sheep here, trees, bramble and ivy began to grow over the grasslands and shade out the rare plants and killed them off. So in 1999, when the project started, we began a programme of habitat restoration. So in areas where there were existing grassland, there would be teams of workers who would come in the winter and they would clear away bramble, ivy and tree seedlings. In some areas that worked really, really well, but in other areas, as soon as we cut down the trees, they grew back again. So we started to look for a more sustainable solution. And in 2010, we had a national project called the Grazing Animal Project come and look at this particular area of the gorge, which is very botanically rich, which is known as the Gully. And they looked at the site and they said, basically, you need a sustainable solution, you need to get some grazing animals back into the site. So in 2011, we collected 6 cashmere goats from the Great Orme in North Wales and brought them here to the Gully, where they did a fantastic job at nibbling away and making space and light for the wildflowers to recover. In 2019, we'd got down to just 2 cashmere goats left, and in 2021, in March, we got in some small baggot goats, again a rare breed, which were helping the 2 remaining goats to keep the scrub under control.
Across the gully, you can see the signs of the goats. The bark of this tree, stripped away by their strong teeth, shows exactly what they're here to do.
Just recently, we've had 4 more new arrivals with 4 young billy cashmere goats which have come from the Great Orme to bolster our herd, and they are now contentedly browsing away with the rest of the goats, helping us to restore this habitat, bringing back the wildflowers and also making a habitat that's perfect for those invertebrates to thrive as well.
But whilst this is an important haven for wildlife, it is also incredibly important for people. The area is popular with walkers, bikers, bird watchers, picnickers and people simply wanting to get some fresh air and greenery. However, access to nature in the UK is not equal. A recent survey concluded that poorer people and those from ethnic minorities had lower access to nature and were less likely to live close to parks and green spaces.
Through running an education and community engagement programme, we enable a wide range of people to come and explore the special wildlife of the Avon Gorge, Downs and Lee Withs. During these trips they get to learn about the biodiversity of the site and maybe think of actions that they can take so that we can all work together to solve these biodiversity and climate crises.